Not a good podcast.
Not a good podcast.
This is not a good podcast.
You're listening to Not a Good Podcast with PB and Johnny V. Episode 8. Classic movies, modern day supervillains, and things that annoy Johnny V and PB.
I mean, a lot annoys me so much. What about you, Johnny?
Ugh. I think we went over this before, but yeah, I don't know. Little things. You know, like I told you with the elevator and pushing the sidewalk buttons and all that stuff. I had a guy, I'll tell you this. I was doing nothing wrong, okay? There were like 4 or 5 cars in front of me driving home. We were on the back road. Had 3 cars behind me, and one of the guys driving behind me was driving a Porsche. And he just kept tailgating me.
It's not called a Porsche, it's called a Porsche.
I don't care.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Porsche. I don't care. Anyways,
You don't care because you don't have one.
this guy, I mean, the people in front of me were going the speed limit. This guy kept like tailgating me, man. And I just threw my hands up and I'm like, yo, dude, what's the deal? You know? And he threw his hands up. Then
Waving?
and then I threw my hands up again.
What did you throw
And
up?
I just put my hands up. Like, dude, what's
Come on, 10 and 2. Keep them on the steering wheel.
well, you know, I mean, I'm getting a little ticked off here because,
Yeah.
you know, and listen, I never give in to the road rage stuff because, I mean, with all my training and all that stuff, like, I don't want to hurt anybody, you know, like, no, but you know, it's just stupid to get into incidents with people, but you know, sometimes they just really annoy the crap out of you, especially living in Florida. They're the worst drivers in the world. And it's because most of them come from up north, like all of us did, you know, so.
Oh, no, this is the guy that drove into the neighborhood,
Yeah,
right?
so
the
so
gated neighborhood.
We're coming up on a gated neighborhood,
Telling you.
and then I threw my hands up again, and he just gives me the biggest finger, and I'm like, this little turd. And I go to slow down, and he pulls right off into a gated community. Just
He had to get home.
I don't know. I'm a relatively nice guy.
Maybe he only has 30 minutes for lunch.
I didn't cut him off. I didn't break him.
Yeah.
I didn't do any of that stuff. I mean, so that's what really irritates me. It's just like, learn to drive.
How to do it more.
Just learn to drive. I mean, seriously, just learn how to drive. You know what I heard the nickname the other day for I-95. You know what they call it?
What's that?
The Lawless 95. I mean, honestly,
I've never heard that.
You never see troopers that often. I mean, at least I don't.
Really?
I don't really see them much. I mean,
Well, not on
I think
our
when
side.
they're-
Not
I
on
see
our
them
side.
every day.
Yeah, but
You do?
Once, at least 2 every day.
I'd say either at the end of the month when they're trying to meet a quota.
No, I don't know. I'm on it. I mean, like,
North Carolina troopers are the worst, man.
Yeah.
I love them. Listen, I was a cop. Like I boys in blue, you guys are awesome. But man, anybody that has a run-in with a trooper knows.
Our buddy said there's ticket nerds. They'll ticket
It's
you
true.
for everything.
They will, man.
And he's in the force. But he's like, he makes fun of them. They're like getting back into the station. Like, man, what a hard day. This is awful. You're like, you just help Sally try to get in her house because she locked herself out.
Yeah.
Man, you've got an easy job.
Easy day.
But
Anyways,
you know,
hey, thank you for serving though.
They do face a lot of crap.
That's true.
And
Especially in today's time, man. I tell you.
2020 to 2022 was
I say
hard years for them.
Even before that, man. 2014 when
Yeah,
the Ferguson riots happened.
Well, you know what it is every election cycle, it's bad on cops. Because they want the these neo-Nazi cop-hating liberals to come out and vote.
And it's funny though, because what they do is they bash police officers. And yet when someone tries to break into their house, they're like, 911, what's your emergency? I need a cop over here right now. It's
I
like,
don't have
why?
a gun.
It's like, why?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I read an article before we even sat down. They were talking about San Francisco, and I've done a lot of work out in San Francisco for some, these companies. And I mean, it's so bad. The crime is so bad. I mean, cops aren't responding. And you know what? I wouldn't respond either, man. I mean, the law is in favor of criminals these days. It truly is. I tell you this, my buddy Teddy, Teddy was out in San Francisco last year, and he pulled his car over, his rental car, to the side, where a food truck was, to get some lunch. And he said he couldn't have been more than 100 yards away. He went to go order his food, and by the time he got back to his car, 10 minutes, he noticed the back window had been busted out.
Oh, I got something.
And they took his backpack with a laptop.
They do that in San Francisco?
Yeah, well, he called the police. He's like, "Listen, I've got my laptop. I'm looking at it right now on Track My Phone. Find My Phone or whatever."
Be careful out there. I had 2 tickets of Taylor Swift in my car, and someone broke in and left 4 more.
That's funny. That's a good one.
Isn't that good?
But Teddy said he called the police, and he said, "Hey, listen, man, I've tracked my computer down," and Teddy followed it to the house where his computer was. And the police showed up, and they told him, they said, "Look, man, we can't go in there and get your laptop." He's like, "Why? It's my laptop. I'm showing you on my phone. This is where it's at." They're like, "It doesn't matter. If we go knock on the door and ask them, 'Hey, did you steal his laptop?' and they say, 'No, it's ours,' we got to let him have it."
What?
Isn't that the crappiest thing you've ever heard?
That's awful.
So
Common sense ain't too common anymore these
I know.
days.
I'm in a meme chat, and I kind of save up some memes. Look at this one. Kids that did this in school are in jail right now. Have you seen the kid? Remember in middle school, the kids that flipped their eyelids out?
yes,
Inside out?
it was gross.
It makes me cringe looking at that.
I always wanted to do it.
I couldn't do it. It
I
hurt.
couldn't do it.
Yeah.
It hurt me.
Here's this one. The boss said he is going to fire whoever has the worst posture. Do you know who will be? This guy's like, I have a hunch.
That's pretty funny.
Isn't that good?
I like that.
Isn't that
Yeah.
good? This guy come in. He said, "Sorry, I'm late. I broke down on the way to work." "Oh no, is your car running okay?" He's like,
My car.
"My car?" Okay, here's another one. Congratulations to Rob for winning the most secretive guy in the office award. And then Rob's like, "I can't tell you how much this award means to me."
That's so stupid.
It's so stupid.
Have you ever seen those? Oh my gosh, I've seen
Who
this
is
guy.
that?
So this
That's
guy
No
was
Neck.
on. He
What's
was
his
on
name?
90 Day Fiance, man.
It's No Neck
No,
something.
I
What's his
forgot
name?
Oh,
Well, we
man.
know what shampoo he uses.
Oh man, what is his name? That guy is so. Oh
But he's so famous
Is it
because
No
of it.
Neck Ned?
I don't know.
no. Oh man,
But
it's like Tony or
This
something.
is the meme. It just shows him a picture with his collar all the way up and buttoned all the way to the top. It goes to his lips.
Have you actually
It says,
seen?
"Well, we know what shampoo he uses." Head and shoulders.
Danny DeVito should play him in
Hey,
a biopic.
Have you ever seen? Have you
Danny
ever seen
DeVito's
90
the
Day
best.
Fiance with him in it?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, man!
Yeah.
Talk about some trashy TV.
It's pretty weird. So, do you guys know how we do our thumbnails on our website?
Yep.
Notagoodpodcast.com.
Yep.
We do it through AI, and the Photoshop app,
Oh,
the Photoshop beta, has the greatest AI thing.
Art is dead.
Yeah, you can't. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, you can tell it's pretty wonky.
Yeah.
I mean,
But also, how long? It took you 5 seconds to do that, right?
it was super quick.
The redheaded kid pictures really do it for me. Is he holding a metal detector and a shotgun?
Looks like he's holding a shotgun.
He's holding a
He is.
sawed-off shotgun
look at
and a
that.
metal detector.
Look at his
Gary.
face.
Hey,
Oh, yeah,
you
that's
got in
right.
contact with Gary from
That's
Oak
that was
Island.
a
He
couple-
texted you back,
That's
man.
a couple weeks ago. I can't believe we forgot about this. So look up Gary.
So for those of you that don't know, or we should have listened to our I don't know, the episode a few weeks ago. But anyways, PB has a famous friend, Gary from Oak Island.
This was episode
The curse,
4 or 5.
the curse of Oak Island. And anyways, there's a guy on there. His name's Gary, and
Gary Drayton.
Gary Drayton. Look this guy up. He is super famous for his.
He keeps the show interesting. He really does. Because he's got the accent.
Is he the British guy?
He's a British guy. Yeah. He's like, that's a top pocket find. So we called him, and I ended up texting him in the middle of the show. Hey, Gary, we have a podcast, and we'd love to have you on. Love what you're doing. And he replied,
Crickets.
Yeah, it was crickets. He replied
a day later.
23 hours later. Almost, yeah.
Well, he is in the UK. I mean, I know it's not 20
No,
hours
he's
away,
probably
but
he's probably at Oak Island filming right now.
probably, yeah.
It's summer. I mean, their season ends.
They're definitely there.
When winter hits, probably October, November, up there. You think? You think, Jay?
I think so.
Sure.
I mean, you've been up in the north once. He said, would love to, ... I have 2 contracts in place that prevent me from doing what you ask. Kind of takes the fun out of it for sure.
Yeah.
Man.
Anyways, though, talking about conspiracy.
Well, let me say, no. I'm going to finish.
Nobody wants to hear the text
Hey,
messages.
Gary. Thanks for getting back to me so quickly. I totally understand about those contracts. We're huge fans of what you're doing at Oak Island. We've been watching since season 1. Last time we chatted, you were living close. If you're ever up to metal detecting on the beach with us after a good storm, we'd love to head out with you. Cheers.
So we're
I
going.
did say
Treasure Coast.
We are going to
Yeah.
the Treasure Coast.
Yeah. We got to buy some metal detectors, though.
I know.
We're going to be in
I know a guy.
$900.
It's true.
I know a guy.
Just for a day.
I would do it, though.
I know one guy.
You know one guy that has...
Yeah, because listen, you find
So,
one doubloon, you're making that $900
Sure,
back.
I know. But what's the chances you're going to find that?
With this guy,
You know what he'll do is...
80%.
He'll throw out quarters right in front of you.
You know what?
He
The guy that I know is actually British as well.
He is British. I borrowed his metal detector. Never used it. I wish
What's
I did.
up with Brits and their teeth? It's got to be something in the
Does
water.
that
Universal
annoy you?
healthcare, man. Universal healthcare.
Does that annoy you?
Is this in the topic of what annoys you?
It's not annoying. It's just you ever look at, and man, I'm not. Yeah, we won the war. Get over it, okay? But
Fix your teeth.
History is for the winners.
But if you look at the Brits, look at their teeth. I mean, they're summer teeth. You know, some are here, some are there. Like
here's the reason. It's universal healthcare. I think it's too.
it's like, yeah,
I
you
think-
still got them.
I think
doesn't-
dentists.
it
but
doesn't
here,
cover dental,
in
though.
South Africa.
I don't think it covers dental.
No, it doesn't. In South Africa, you can go get a root canal, an implant, and a cleaning for $15.
Yeah, but the guy doing it got his certification out in international waters on a weekend. Like,
Who cares? You can do it for $15.
They used to have barbers do all this. What changed?
I think we should go back to those days.
that's true.
I mean,
Barber
I think,
used to do
I think
everything.
they were just pulling teeth at that point, right?
Yep.
Can I annoy you guys real quick? I think I'm gonna do it with
Do it.
this next part.
Okay.
Let's talk about classic movies. I have never seen Tombstone, Top Gun,
What?
or the sequel to Top Gun.
You haven't seen Top Gun?
Top Gun or Tombstone. We were just
No.
talking about it. Tombstone is my
Jay,
favorite.
no wonder you're low on testosterone.
Tombstone is my favorite, man. My Johnny Ringo.
I know. Yeah, I know all the references. Never
Really?
seen them.
I mean, Top Gun seems like a movie you would have liked.
I don't know.
Didn't you?
Now that I know,
Didn't your dad watch it?
I don't think so.
Huh.
We used to watch Bob Ross on a Saturday.
Ooh,
I mean, it was a quiet house.
that's why
Well.
you're introverted.
One of my favorite people, actually. Bob Ross. Robert Ross.
So, have you seen the? It was a Netflix movie about Bob Ross. Did you see that one?
I don't
Yeah.
think I've seen that one yet.
It's pretty sad. He
Yeah.
was taken advantage of,
He was. I do know
and
the
he
story.
took advantage of a lot of people.
He's an Air Force vet.
He was so
He could have been in Top
He's
Gun.
so
I don't know.
gentle.
Are there any classic movies that you've not seen?
I don't know.
Have you seen
love,
Star Wars?
Yeah, I love
The
movies.
good
My
ones.
wife hates movies. I love movies.
Have you seen the deep fakes with the Star Wars where they're like
Oh, yeah.
talking?
Oh, yeah.
They're talking about the scenes,
Yeah.
but they're like the ghost of Obi-Wan and what's the other one?
Qui-Gon Jinn.
Qui-Gon Jinn. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, it is.
It's
It's
good.
great.
I didn't realize it was deep fake. It was that good.
Favorite? What's your top 3 movies?
So remember back when Facebook started out and you had to like do all your like favorite movie,
remember that.
MySpace.
Yeah,
favorite,
MySpace. I remember that.
favorite music. So I think I still have it on there. The Patriot,
Oh, gosh,
yeah.
that was so good.
That's
Right?
solid.
So good.
That is solid.
but it like hits you.
Especially when he's in
even-
the woods.
But even before you were a dad, it hit you hard. Looking through the lens of being a dad,
Yeah,
I don't know if I can see it again. I haven't seen it since before my kids were born.
that'd make my.
What was it? Aim small, miss small.
Yeah, and then
But
with
you
his-
could tell, man, because like
I'm not gonna spoil
he
this
was
for
a
anyone.
warrior, and he
was.
a good warrior. Doesn't fly off the
But-
handle, right? Like he kept it down, and then when he had to, he just like,
Unleashed. That was a good one.
the axes flying in that,
yeah.
man.
Read this book one time by Tim Larkin, and it's called "When Violence Is the Answer." And this is for all of you out there. When violence is the answer, it's the only answer. And it's so good because it's true. Like,
Protecting your family,
yeah, when violence is the answer, it is the only
your
answer.
daughter's honor.
Yeah. Well, not even that, like teaching your daughter and your son, like especially the little girls out there, like when violence is the answer, it's the only answer. It's like you do everything you possibly can
Yeah,
to defend yourself.
I showed a video to my kids before they went to New York of this 15-year-old girl that got abducted in the Dallas
Houston
arena.
Airport?
No, it was
Oh,
like
arena.
she just went to the bathroom.
That's it.
Yeah, Tim Larkin. And then she disappeared for 10 days, ended up in Oklahoma being trafficked.
Man.
And the Dallas police said you have to go back to your hometown and report it as a runaway.
Get out of here.
They didn't do anything. Didn't even take a report for 10 days.
Man.
And I just showed how scary it was because there's a guy that was in the box behind them, probably saw her,
Good one too.
saw her walk out, and he was a young, probably attractive guy, and it was his job to take her and to bring her into the trafficking ring. And he probably said, "Hey, you want a shirt like this? Oh, this is a small. Why don't we go outside? I'll give you a medium or a large for your dad." Something like that. And then she's gone.
Yeah.
Couldn't find her. So, like, I show my kids this stuff. Like, so violence is when violence is the answer.
When violence
I
is
want
the
that
answer.
book now.
Yeah.
So when violence is the answer, that's a heck of a book. And The Gift of Fear is a heck of a book.
You were talking to someone about that the other day.
Yeah.
So why would you recommend that?
The Gift of Fear I would recommend because, especially to women, it's about listening to your gut instinct. Because people these days, it's like, I don't know, like you get that feeling sometimes that, like, let's say you're trying to open a door, you want to open a door for someone to come in, like let's say your apartment building, right? And this sort of
Yeah.
references that.
It's like, hey, hold the door, hold the
Yeah,
door.
it's like, but you've never seen them though in your apartment building, but also you don't want to be rude to these people. But like that first instinct of like, well, I should close the door, but I don't want to be rude. Like you should have listened to that. You should listen to that first voice.
Yeah.
And basically what the premise is like, who cares if you feel embarrassed or look like a jerk sometimes when you have
Yeah.
that feeling, because that is the voice that keeps you alive during bad situations.
You know what's cool is my son, when my daughter's like, I go to the bathroom and we're at a restaurant, he's like, I'll walk you.
Good.
Like he has that
Yep.
protective instinct.
Yep.
He's not type A dominant. personality, but
Yep.
he's very protective.
Good.
And I love that about him.
Yeah.
My family is still gone. And I remember when they were leaving, I said, I'm kind of giving them the rundown because, it's like to say it's a crazy world now is just the biggest understatement. Like, I think it was actually, Johnny, it was your wife that told my wife
Yeah.
that there was a lady in the Ollie's parking lot here in Stewart
Okay. Yeah.
that, like, in the middle of broad daylight, somebody jumped her and tried to throw her in a van.
Wow.
Oh yeah. That's
Ollies?
happened.
Ollies?
That's happened
Yeah.
multiple times to multiple people that we've acquaintances with.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has. I mean, it's crazy.
I mean,
these
yeah,
days, I'll tell you, man, and we can talk about this subject for a while too, because there's that new movie out, right? Sound of Freedom. I haven't seen
Yeah.
it yet.
I want to see it.
To me, you do something to a child. I don't even want to tell you how bad I mean, you get no remorse from me.
Yeah.
And the men that I know, you get no remorse.
Yeah.
But these people that are doing this terrible, evil thing, they're getting better at it. And I read a report last year where there's a group of individuals in America that can spot. I mean, because these people are predators. They work in teams, and they'll have a driver. They'll have a lookout. They'll have people for communications. And let's say you go into a mall or a Walmart, right? And they see a mother walking around and they say, oh, she's a pretty easy target. There's a kid sitting in the buggy, right? They can have that kid, if the mom turns around, picks something up or whatever. And it's worse and this is what I hate about sometimes, like I see women running with AirPods in their ears.
Yeah.
And not just women, men too, but I've seen running at nighttime with AirPods in. I mean, what in the world? I mean, you are setting yourself up to be an easy target. But anyways, these people have gotten so good that they can take your child, and I'm not trying to scare people, it's reality.
They change the clothes.
Out of your buggy, and they have people in the store already holding things ready to do it.
Jeez.
And by the time they take your child and have them in the van, change their clothes, different person, less than 2 minutes, gone.
So do you know the people that abduct kids at Disney? They change their clothes, put on a hat.
There you go.
Put
That's
on a wig.
another one, man.
But when we were going to Disney as a family, we had annual passes because we live in Florida. I mean, you only have to go 8 times to make it worth it.
Right. Right. It's true.
To pay it off.
But who goes? It's like you go one time, you're like,
Oh,
I ain't
man.
never coming back again.
But you have to do it. It's something that we heard is always remember what shoes your kids are wearing.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Because they don't have time to change your kids' shoes and they don't have the right size shoes.
Yeah.
So you can give the identifier of what shoes that the kids have. So they're watching for that as they're walking out of the theme park.
I'll never forget, since we're on this subject, I was at I guess this was a Bible conference a few months ago. Well, actually a year ago now that I'm thinking about it. And, they were kind of talking about these subjects that we're talking about right now. And we got on the verse, it's Matthew 18:6. And it says, if anyone causes one of these little ones, those who believe in me, to stumble, it would be better for them to have a large millstone hung around their neck and to be drowned in the depths of the sea.
Yep.
And I don't,
That's
I'm
coming
not
from Jesus. That ain't
I'm
coming
not
from us.
I'm not a theologian, but if you're out there listening and you have little ones, if anything happens to them, become the millstone.
Man, that's deep. That's good.
And that was something that I'm getting chills thinking about it.
Yeah.
That was something that God kind of spoke to me in that moment. And, it was one of those God things where you knew it was from him. So
Yeah.
it's a crazy world. It's getting worse, be the millstone.
Yeah.
Do you guys think that? Have you heard the thing about what they put in our water to make us pacifists?
Fluoride.
Fluoride.
Mm,
Have you heard that?
I have.
I think so.
You really haven't?
I don't think I have. To make us pacifists?
Yeah.
No, I don't think I have.
So it calms the population, putting fluoride in your water.
I remember that. Wasn't that big during Obama? When he kind of, I don't know if it was when he first.
I mean, they've always
got
put
into
fluoride
office.
in our water, but I mean, there's studies of what it does to you,
Yeah.
and it's a lot. They put a lot in it, and still our teeth are rotten anyways.
Yeah.
And they say it's for our teeth. But why would they put something in our water supply just to help our teeth?
I don't know. One thing I do know is government doesn't care about you.
They just want to control you. Because honestly, what they were afraid of in the following January 6th
Yeah.
was a rebellion.
Yeah. The 9 most scariest words Reagan said that you could ever hear from a government official is, "I'm from the government and I'm here to help."
I'm here to help.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Kamala Harris said those words.
She did.
She did it, man.
She did.
She's a piece of work, though.
Is her name Kamala? Like camel?
Kamala?
Or is it Kamala?
I think it's Kamala.
I was doing security out in San Fran, like I was telling y'all the last episode, and I met a guy. I can talk about him because he wasn't working on my detail, but he used to be a police officer in Sacramento, but he used to do some like secondary work down in San Fran, and he told
That's
me
where Kamala was from.
yeah,
right?
he told me some stories, man, about how she worked her way to the top and some of the bad stuff. But she's a piece of work. And I don't know if you've seen her word salad or read her word salads lately. I mean, if you want,
I mean, they're everywhere. Do you guys see the Roger Stone video? It was TP USA. I think he was on. Was it TP USA?
yes, you told us about that one.
I sent it to a group. So Roger Stone said, "Mark my words. I'm going to be the first one to go on record saying this. Kamala is going to be the next president of the United States. Joe Biden's not going to finish his presidency, and the only, according to the Democrats' liberal standard, is a female black woman will not be taken out of office unless it's by another female black woman. And who's that going to be?
Michelle Obama.
Big
So,
Mike.
so I think we've talked about this. Yeah, old Big Mike.
Oh, Big Mike.
That's definitely Big Mike. We
Big
get into
Mike.
that later. Just watching Ella DeGeneres show. Hey, so listen, to me, I think the Democratic ticket, and I'm going to say this on here now, the Democrat ticket is going to be Gavin Newsom and Big Mike. 100%. Because the Democrats
In
these
28?
days running are not as crazy, man, as these liberals like it to be. Right. They're not as extreme.
No, they're not.
Really, what?
Well, they're what are they? They're stopping the primaries.
Yeah,
in New Hampshire, and I'm going to be fact checked here, but like Idaho or something like that. They're trying to rig it, the primaries. So I heard this theory. Trump with the running mate of Kennedy as an independent would get the independent vote. Isn't that good?
Yeah, that would be good.
I mean, I haven't heard
that's-
anything I don't like about him. I haven't really studied him as much because I thought he was just a secondary candidate that is getting a lot of press. But what do you guys know about Kennedy?
I'm trying to pull something up right now.
I'll say
You guys are going to be very interested
in my
this.
current job. People are calling in asking about him because he did that video where he's working out and talking about his, treatments and things like that.
Kennedy?
Yeah. Kennedy.
Really?
I guess there's
What's he doing?
Well, they've asked me if I've seen the video, and I have not. I've heard about it. I guess there's some video where he's like got his shirt off and he's talking about being on testosterone treatment, and he's like lifting weights at some outdoor gym or something.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm trying to pull this up real quick right now, but this is JFK Jr. And so apparently there's this theory that JFK Jr. is alive still.
Yeah, the QAnon thing.
Have you seen this guy though? This guy,
Yeah.
there's a guy that shows up to every Donald Trump appearance. And I guess he's like,
But he was in the helicopter with Trump, wasn't he?
yeah.
And no one knew who he was.
Oh, man, I got to pull
This
this
is
up.
during the whole QAnon. I think QAnon, a lot of the QAnon stuff was CIA misinformation, just to kind of,
Fusca. That's his last name, Fusca.
God bless you.
You're
L'Chaim.
Shalom.
Anyways, this guy's name's Fusca, I think.
I
Go
mean,
ahead, keep
I kind
going.
of want to get on what this Kennedy guy's on.
Is he saying he's Democrat? I
Yes.
feel like I've heard him say
That's
he doesn't want
why-
to be the party of vaccines.
That's why he's not. Hey, listen, man, we can get into some vaccines.
We can get in.
Yeah.
Have
I
you
mean,
guys-
we'll probably wrap up the session in 11 minutes with the vaccine talk. There's certain things
Vince
that I do
Fusca.
not want in my body.
Right.
Vaccines is one of them.
Yeah. And everybody's going to be like, oh, these guys are just rednecks. They,
Anti-vaxxers.
yeah, whatever.
Listen,
Sure. You know what?
listen.
Who cares anymore?
I know people very close to me that said it's a Christian thing to do to wear a mask. It's a Christian thing to
It's
do.
in the Bible
No, it's a
somewhere.
Christian thing to do to protect the widows and the orphans. It is, but it's not like I just saw a clip about this one pastor saying the church got it wrong during COVID. It's because people are saying, the governor is telling you what to do and he's the highest authority of the land. No, the Constitution is the highest authority in the land.
Yep.
And the governor works for us,
Yep.
right? So we say the buck stops with us,
With the people.
and this is the line, and you're not going to go past this line.
But see, they don't like that, though.
They don't like that. So he said the authority, according to the Constitution, is with us. So the church got it wrong by saying,
We, the
listen to the authorities, shut
I'm
the
the
church
government.
down.
I'm with the government and I'm here to help.
Yep. I'm from the government. I'm here to help. Yep.
Well, you've seen reports of all these athletes just dropping down dead
Yeah.
on fields, and
I was in the mall today with my family. We were eating some
that's one thing I would not picture you to be
in the mall.
doing is in the mall.
Yeah. Well, we were waiting on my wife. She was doing something, but we got some good old
Should go in Claire's.
Chick-fil-A.
The Lord's chicken.
Oh man, it was so good. But we're sitting there and just 50 feet away, 60 feet away, I could see these two people that were close to our age in their mid-30s, and they were wearing masks. And
Really? Still?
The dude caught my eyes looking at him.
He knows.
And he didn't take his eyes off of me, and I just looked at him and I started shaking my head like this to him. No joke. I kept shaking my head, and he just kept looking at like intently at me, and I kept shaking my head at him like this. And then he just turned his head away from me. But you could tell he was so embarrassed, and like he did not wear the belt in that relationship. When I say that, I say my wife wears the pants. I wear the belt that keeps him up, right? He didn't wear pants or the belt, man.
But sometimes pants are so tight they don't need that belt.
Right. Yeah.
Well,
But who's wearing a mask these days?
I gotta say,
actors
yeah, they still.
they
are.
loved the mask. Do you know why? Because they can go out in public and no one knew
I saw
who
a
they were.
woman walking down on the sidewalk in front of Walmart the other day, and feels like temp was 111 and she had a mask on. Weird thing was, it was under her nose. She was walking past the bus stop. I mean, imagine the germs that are in that thing, man.
It's probably the same one since 2020.
It's dirty.
Dang. I gotta say though, if there's one good thing to come out of the mask, the whole food industry, people masking up, if they're making your burrito at Chipotle, I think that should stick around. I think that should stay.
Yeah.
That was probably a good call.
That was the one area, like, please wear a glove.
Maybe that was.
Right?
We should keep that around.
I think we should keep that. Stop wiping your nose.
There used to be this place called J&S Cafeteria where I grew up. And
J and S.
J&S. Yeah, J&S. And it's like everybody went there on Sunday after church. You know, you grab a tray and you just could order, like you walk down, there's your salads, pick out whatever type of salad, 7-layer salad, a Caesar salad, whatever, and then someone hands it to you. And it's all just a bunch of old ladies in the back,
We don't have salad bars anymore.
We had something called
I miss
Piccadilly.
those salad bars.
That was good. Yeah, Piccadilly. Okay,
Yeah.
it's just like a Piccadilly, right? So you walk past there, and then they're like, "Meat, ma'am, meat, sir," But the funny thing is, and me, I'm like,
Did you just assume my gender?
As a child, I'm walking through there, and I'm looking at this lady bending over, asking me, "Meat, ma'am, meat, sir," your sides, and it's so hot. She's got a big old thing of sweat hanging over it, dripping into the mac and cheese.
That's the flavor.
Hey, hey, do you remember? Were you with me when last, like 6 months ago? We went to a Jersey Mike's, and this poor kid was making my sandwich. Man, this kid was making my sandwich. He was so hot, and I was waiting. I was like, Lord, please don't let me get this guy to make my sandwich.
That's Mike's way.
And then PB gets in front of me, and he gets his sandwich done by somebody else. And who do I get?
Sweaty Charlie.
Good old boy.
Sweaty Mike.
Good old son, man. And he's over there making my sandwich. And I'm like, do you guys have honey mustard? He's like, yeah, we got honey mustard. He takes my sandwich, turns around, and he had a big drop of sweat on his nose. Turns around, pours the honey mustard on my sandwich, and he turns back around. Sweat's gone. No! Sweat's gone. I ate it. So
I sent you a picture of this lady scooping ice cream with this like soft brace on her wrist.
Oh yes,
And
I
was like-
remember that.
I was like, I bet that smells so bad.
Oh
Let me
man,
use my strong hand.
my wife said she used to have this. She used to have this guy at her. When she was in youth group, she used to have this guy that was over it, like a leader, but he was like in college.
Yeah.
His name was Kenny, and he really liked my wife. And my wife said he always used to wear this watch that had a cloth band. And he'd walk up behind people and rub his watch under their nose. It would stink.
That's all the time we have today for Not a Good Podcast. If you like what you're listening to, leave us a 5-star review, drop us a comment, subscribe to wherever you listen to podcasts, and we'll see you next time.
Subscribe.
We love you guys.
You've been listening to Not a Good Podcast. Tune in next time